Now this one I've been thinking about for some time, and judging from the feedback and the comments, I think some of you guys have been feeling the same way, because it's almost feeling like every other month there's a new way to add more pulleys, swivels, contraptions, new bench configurations, new storage options, and of course the never-ending array of accessories that go on your all-in-one functional trainer, what have you. If you watch my channel, it might sound like this is the pot calling the kettle black, but I think honestly, it's more so from an area of just experience going through the heavy congested setup that you guys saw on the channel. Many times I would defend that for the sake of just kind of showing you guys and featuring cool things, but I'm seeing more and more people have that setup where the garage or home gym space is getting more and more condensed and crowded, that while I can definitely appreciate the hobby and fun factor of collecting and adding to your gym, I also wonder if we are overcomplicating or over-engineering the very simple and effective methods that we already know to be true with strength and resistance training. So this is one part me kind of going through my own little inner dialogue, but I also want to hear what you guys have to say about the matter, because it almost seems like the home and garage gym space, I hate to say it, well yes, I'm sure it is growing exponentially year by year, but it almost gets to a point of saturation and kind of a peak or bubble, so to speak, where how much more can you really innovate where you start really losing the forest for the trees on what really works? Yes, things kind of change, you get tweaked, and there's new brands and new kind of positions and angles and all sorts of mechanics and just overall engineering upgrades year by year. And sometimes what might seem like an upgrade is actually a downgrade. But the tried and true machines have not really changed in the past 30, 40, even 50 years, 60 years and beyond, when it comes to just building a gym. I actually made a video talking about this, how in the early 70s, we essentially discovered the golden formula of what really works to build muscle efficiently and effectively. And after that point, it's just been subtle iterations and upgrades and more creature comforts to those types of machines and mechanics. This is in the eye of the beholder, and I'm not hating on innovation in any shape or form. And I love seeing creative ideas in the home gym space, but I think we need to pause and ask is, do these gadgets actually make us stronger, or are they just making us more distracted, cluttering our training? And as I've definitely come to experience, sometimes they actually hinder your training by just paralysis of overanalysis. And I actually had this for a topic of another video, that yes, there's a psychological component, that the more new and novel things kind of keeps this home gym and garage gym space more exciting and innovative, but that kind of slowly ebb and flows and goes up and down, and it's really only those tried and true things that really, in my opinion, start to stick. And by the nature of this channel, I've shared many times with people on recording and off recording that even though it looks really fun to kind of review stuff, there's no question it has hindered my training in the long run by showing and testing out things that I otherwise wouldn't really mess around with too much. I'm not complaining, no question. I'm just being mindful of the people that are digesting this stuff and possibly being influenced by my material and other people's, that they start to really just get excited about the next big review, next big new thing, and they consider it either upgrading, selling stuff, or in a roundabout way makes them feel like their setup is less effective and or less exciting. I do have some things on the wish list that I think are gonna be incoming to this gym soon, but I shared this with people on the members only channel, that it is almost getting to the point where I'm kind of personally, I'm not gonna say I'm done, although I did say I was done earlier when I actually had some of the nuts and bolts, and I'd still say as a whole, I kind of am done. The rest is just kind of icing on the cake. At this point, even with things like the lever arms, and the Voltra with the bands, my total gym, the free weight, dumbbells, the bench, I've kind of peaked personally. Even when this bench I'm sitting on, when I see all these various bench innovations and things, I personally don't get it. I definitely get it for other people. I'm just speaking out loud for myself personally, which is where I'm kind of making this video. I'm really curious, do you see yourself upgrading to constant racks? Are you excited for new things on the horizon? Even something as simple as these tornado arms and swivels, which don't get me wrong, I do love, but now you're seeing on every single rack that it seems like there's gonna be one innovation to the next innovation, that I wonder if that excites you or if that kind of makes things a little more complicated. So curious to hear your thoughts about this. I think more options are definitely better than not a lot of options. However, I do think we have to be mindful about just the constant influx of material and stuff that is coming in that can, no question, hinder the most important part of being in this space. I think we'd all admit that, which is just results. It really be the equivalent of any other hobby of just buying all the gear possible but not really interested in the actual activity itself. So that is something I think is a trap we can all fall into, especially something like this, because if you ever worked in the gym industry, you do know there are a lot of people that like the idea of just going to the gym versus actually doing the work. In fact, I knew people that literally would just come there, check in, talk, hang out, do a couple things, and then go home. That for them was the mental outlet. And I can see where that is the case. Maybe this is gonna be a future video, but really interested to hear where you guys see all this equipment kind of factoring into the psychology and also where the effectiveness of your goals in this home gym space. That's just one of these rant videos though, guys. I'll see you in the next one.